The women's golf team heads to Indianapolis this weekend for the Big Ten Championship. The three-day event will take place at the Fort Golf Course. The Badgers finished sixth last year, while then freshman Brooke Farr placed fourth individually. Head coach Todd Oehrlein is here. We'll have an opening statement and take questions.
Thanks, Brian. Good afternoon, everybody. Just a little recap of the season, I guess, to get things started. Really, I guess the first word that comes to mind with our team is youth. That's really been kind of a key piece with what we're doing. Of the 9 players we have on our roster, 7 of them are freshmen and sophomores. We've had, in the fall in particular, every tournament in the fall, we had at least one player in the top 5 that was playing her first collegiate event. And there's a lot of excitement, a lot of nerves with that. A lot of really valuable experience. I think they've handled it really well. We right now, I think the second lowest career scoring average or single season scoring average going with that youth. So I've been proud of how they've handled that, and the experience they've gained has been really valuable. There's also been some ups and downs. There's some inconsistency with young players and with some of that. But I do feel we've had great leadership. It's a great group from a chemistry standpoint. I've been proud of how they've dealt with adversity, the bounce back, things of that nature, I think has been really solid with this group. And so we've really challenged them. In the 12 years I've been here, we're playing right now, hands down the most difficult schedule that we've played in the time that I've been here. I think some of that is coming on the heels of having some success the last couple of years. It's opened up some opportunities into some really strong fields, some strong tournaments. And as a result, the team's been challenged from that perspective. We've put them on some really difficult golf courses. The tournament we just came back from, Napa, we played a golf course called Silverado, which is a tour event, a tour golf course. And it's just a great challenge. It's a great test. And in golf, you start looking at scores, and they're somewhat deceiving because the level of the golf course really impacts that to a great extent, obviously. They all are different. And so we had 2 players play remarkably well, really solid. Chung and Brooke Farr both really played solidly there. And hopefully they will carry that momentum into the Big Tens. But overall, the golf courses we've played, the fields we've been in, have provided some great experience for the players and for the team. And like I said, I hope that pays off as we move into the conference championship and beyond. This year, heading down to Indianapolis for our conference championship, we are at a different site than we've played in the past. We're at a golf course called the Fort in Indianapolis. It's going to be the first time there for all of the teams. Nobody's played it before, and so it's a great test. It's a really good golf course, very solid layout. It all sits in front of you. It's not real tricky or confusing. Not a lot of blind shots. It's just a really solid golf course, and so I'm very excited to get the team down there and to get that started. I know we're seeded 4th heading into this tournament. So, our expectations are to be ready to play right away. I think that's a key for us. One of the things that I think has been a challenge for this team is just maybe kind of starting fast, making sure you get off to a good start. I'd like to see the team get off to a quick start and play real well in that first round. And then as they become more familiar with the golf course, if the pattern holds true, they just continue to get better each and every round. So that's going to be a key thing, and I think we're looking forward to the event.
Talk about your seniors. Both of them rank among top 10 in career scoring. Kim is 3rd, and Aaron is 9th.
Kim and Aaron have been really special players for us. They have done just tremendous jobs throughout their career. In both situations, they both played very competitive schedules, but they weren't. I don't know how to say this. They weren't like highly recruited. weren't highly sought after. Maybe more of a product of just later development than being way out ahead of the curve. And to see the way they have grown and the way they have developed as players, and as you mentioned, Tam, both of them are in the top 10 in our career scoring averages, and they've played in 2 NCAA regional championships already, and 1 NCAA finals. Been part of multiple tournament victories. Kim has won as an individual tournament victory. They've just they've been really special players for our program and what they've done. And then on top of that, what they've done in the classroom, leadership, chemistry, community service, they really are just what we all hope for in our student athletes and what we look for.
Could you talk about Michelle Chung's spring season so far? Last tournament, she scored the only 2 eagles out of all the individuals, and she's finished first out of 2 of her 3 competitions.
Yeah, Michelle's played great. It's great to have Michelle in the lineup. Michelle's kind of funny. She's had trouble breaking through the qualifying procedures, and yet when she's got into the tournament, she's played fantastic. It's almost like she's more comfortable in the tournament setting than she is in the qualifying setting. So once she finally got into there, she started to establish herself, and she's very strong, very talented. She played on the Chinese national team, and so has a lot of international experience, and it doesn't really surprise me to see her playing the way she's played. She's a very talented player. Interesting little story. Those two Eagles were both holeouts, and Michelle has actually holed out 4 times this year, 3 times in the spring and 4 times overall on the season. I mean, we maybe hole out from the fairway once or twice an entire season as a team, and she's got 4 already this year. So that's kind of an interesting little fact.
Could you tell us a little bit about Brooke Farrell's season and Gabby Curtis as well, please?
Yeah, Brooke and Gabby have both played tremendous. Brooke has kind of just kept it going from last year. She had a great freshman year and has continued to move into that this year. Right now is playing very well. She's grown technically as a player over this year. Really has become a little more mature as a golfer out on the golf course and how she executes things, and she's done a really nice job that way. Gabby has come in as a freshman and just given us a nice spark. She's just a very strong player. She's, I think Gabby's 5'11" and hits it very hard, and just really is a very strong player. And Gabby came out this spring and really learned a lot from the fall, worked hard in the offseason, came out this spring, and I believe she finished 5th in the first invitational at Central Florida. Just came out firing right away, gave her a lot of confidence. Really, Gabby goes into tournaments right now with the expectation she's going to play well, and she's got a bright future in front of her.
Jeff?
Todd, you mentioned the solid course. I'm just curious, what specifically do you like about it? Is it maybe the width of the fairways, the rough, how much sand the players will have to negotiate, or what?
I like the fact that I think it's a really good championship test from the standpoint of there's going to be demand to the golf shots, but I think everything is very fair. I think everything sits in front of you, and there's always sometimes some golf courses can maybe punish bad shots, and I just don't see this happening at this place. I think it's very straightforward, very demanding. I love the green complexes. I think there's a lot of nice undulation, nice size to them, but not unfair. You get on the wrong side of some ridges, and if your touch is good and you hit a good putt, you're going to be able to 2-putt it still, and that's not always the case. Sometimes you can get into some spots where the golf course can't be managed. I like it. It's good.
With all of the success you see girls like Michelle and Brooke having and being so young, is the best yet to come for these girls over the next few seasons?
I hope so. I think they're going to continue to improve for sure. And I say that based on attitudes, work habits, their passion and love for the game. That I really like to see that. And so I think they're going to continue to grow as players. And, you know, as I mentioned, 7 of the 9 freshmen and sophomores, and yet it's the second lowest scoring average for a single season that we've had. They've been challenged. Some of the finishes may not be, you know, we may finish 10th, but when 10th out of 15 teams, but when 10 of those 15 teams are ranked in the top 30 in the country or top 40 in the country, sometimes that finish is a little deceiving. And that's something that the players also have to kind of understand a little bit, is that they may, let's worry about how we're managing the golf course, how we're playing. Are we improving? Are we getting better? And that's something that's been a big focus here as we're moving down the stretch, heading later on in the spring. I thought we maybe had lost a little bit of that focus coming off of our first tournament. We played so well right out of the gate this spring. I think we might have lost that focus just a little bit, but it's been a point of emphasis certainly moving forward, and we hope to see some rewards this weekend.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Todd.